These checks that we're doing on the finished body, they're all contained in this document. It'll be on the video as well. It's the BSF quality control test protocol. So for the finished body, the three tests that we do are this flow rate test to make sure that everything is good with the pipe. We're checking for leaks in the body itself, and then we're going to check that once it stops flowing, we're going to check that the level of the water inside is aligned with the end of the pipe. So those are the three checks we do at this point. So in this one we can see the tape that was holding the tube into the mold. So you can see the green tape, and we used a bit of clear packing tape as well. So what we're going to do now is just reach in and just pull that off, and then that should release the tube inside. The tube is free. It will run normally. So we have our filter body. We've checked now that the pipe is free and water can pass through it. Some of the other things we want to check at this point is just to look for any obvious cracks that may have appeared. If you do have a big crack, it's actually quite difficult to repair it, and it may take more time than it's worth to repair. So it's a judgment you have to make at the time. So what we're going to, our next step is to actually fill the body of the filter with water. So we're going to fill it up to the top, and we're going to look to see whether there's any other leaks that may appear, and we're also going to test the flow rate. So when the filter is empty, we want to make sure that the water flows easily through the tube and out of the filter. And there we're just verifying that the tube itself isn't kinked, it isn't blocked with little stones or bits of concrete.
So we've got this filter filled to the top. I'm right now just holding back the flow. Pete's got a graduated cylinder, and now we're going to test the flow. So, you ready, Pete?
I am.
All right. Just tell me when.
Now. So that was 500 mils in 22 seconds.
You know, he's got the graduated cylinder, and that's really good, but we know that you're not necessarily going to have this. And so this is a container that has 1,000 mils, and it's marked on the side. You can't see it because it's part of the bottle, but 1,000 mils is 1 liter. So we could use that as well. And you see that the tube is full and the whole thing is flowing freely. But you want to check. And so we'll let this flow through until it stops. And so once it stops, we'll determine whether the other parameter, pass-fail, is that water will actually be below this point on the tube. But we'll see, and once that water all runs through, that's our third check, is it must be below the diffuser lip. All right, and so now the water has all run through and it's found its equalization, and I can see that the water is equal to this point right here. It's right at this level. This is a diffuser basin. Organizations actually get them made out of plastic, or you make them by hand, and there's another video that we'll be talking about how to make a diffuser basin out of sheet metal. We want to ensure that the water is below this, so that this doesn't sit in water all the time. It's susceptible to rusting, and it'll be too close to the sand when we start to pour the water in. So in this case, it's fine. There's no water here, and we've got plenty of space. This filter, passed on the flow, passed on the body with no leaks, and passed on the distance between the bottom of the diffuser and the surface of the water.
Prepare the filter body for curing. So we're going to ensure that we can fill the entire body with water, and that keeps the concrete wet for the 7 days that we need to cure for. So we need to stop the water coming out. So we're just going to use a bit of duct tape. Another option is to use a piece of wood. Often people will use a piece of wood that is shaped. It's shaped like a pencil, and you just push it inside the tube. It fits nice and tightly in there, and it stops the water flowing out. We're going to use tape today, so we're just going to wrap around, and this should be enough to stop the water flowing out. We're going to fill the body with water, and then we're going to leave it. We're going to check it every day or so, just to make sure that we're not losing water, and to ensure that the whole thing is remaining moist, so that the cement, the chemical reaction in the cement, can continue to work through this 7-day period while the concrete's building up its strength.